Hello, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Thirsty Thursday. If you are new here, firstly, I just want to say to all of us that I know that Walter the Wispy Hare is there. There's nothing I can do about him. He's been there all day, and he just won't play nice with the others. So just so you know, I'm aware, we're all aware, he's there. Anyhow. So, if you're new to the channel, hello. Sorry for that. I am Emily, also known as Shamanism. And who am I, you might ask yourself? I'm an author, an entrepreneur, and primarily a gardener, and I am here to help you grow anything and everything, including yourself. Now, the topic for today's Thirsty Thursday is perseverance and obstacles. You might be thinking to yourself, how on earth does perseverance and obstacles fit into health and wellness? Let me explain. So earlier today, what actually brought this to my mind was that I was working on one of my funnels. And it got me to thinking about obstacles in my life. Not only obstacles within, say, funnel making, but also obstacles in life in general. Now, what I've noticed about me, and I don't know if you're the same way, but is that sometimes, for some reason or other, when I come up against an obstacle, rather than even trying to go around that, sometimes it seems like, at least for me personally, I just hit an obstacle and I stop, I give up. And I became recently aware of that pattern, and I thought, gosh, that's kind of silly. Why do I just quit? And so I started to go around things, learn ways to cope. So the way this plays in, number one, is that with mental health, we have to learn how to push through obstacles. I don't care if it's in regards to our health and our diet, whether it's to do with our physical health, not so much the diet we're taking, but perhaps our movement, whether we're moving our body every day and our strength, really anything, or even just our work ethic. Perseverance, rather than just letting obstacles stop you, is so, so important. This is cracking me up. It's so bad. Walter, please. Meanwhile, persevering on. I'm sorry, guys. I have such bad ADD today. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's probably the product of staring at funnels for several hours. What I was basically doing was recreating a funnel I had made, and so I was having to backtrack and model, and anyway. So that's what I've been doing. So that's why I was thinking about perseverance and obstacles simultaneously. Now, if you think that those two things don't affect your health, I can promise you that they do. Now, here's another better example. Now, there are two people, right? Let's say that these two people in a relationship both get sick with, two different things. Let's say one has a stomach issue and the other one, some kind of chronic pain or something. We'll just say, for the sake of argument. These aren't real people I'm thinking of, but for the sake of argument. Now, let's say that these two people both get very ill and both of them are unable to work. Now, person one decides, no, I'm too young for this, or just decides that, no, this is not a death sentence, this is not the rest of my life, I'm going to make a change. And they change any number of things. They change one thing, maybe they change their diet, they change two things, maybe their diet and movement, maybe they change their whole life around. But the point is, even with just one change, they made a change. Now, person number two decides, for whatever reason, not to make any change. Well, let's do a little timeline projection, yeah? So 5 years down the line, let's look back at person one and person two. Now, person one is in way better shape. Their career is moving forward. They're vibrant. They feel much, much better. They're no longer stuck in bed. Whereas person two is depressed, is feeling upset, is in a general state of disharmony, and isn't really liking their life very much right now. And furthermore, and most importantly, is stagnant and therefore still sick. Now, that's a span of 5 years, guys. Now, that's just one example where allowing an obstacle to stop you from moving forward with life is an issue. Now, like I said, you may not think that's a serious issue, but I can attest to it is. Listen, there's a great basic analogy I can make, and it's one that my mentor and my master has used many a time. And it's this analogy of looking at a heart rate monitor. How do we know that someone or something is alive? We look at their heart rate, for instance, and we know that if it goes beep, 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 that the person's alive. Peaks and valleys basically indicate that you're alive, which is a whole other subject I do want to talk about sometime, but not today. And the thing is, so if you think about it in that regard, how do we know that someone has died? It flatlines. beep. Now, do you know what a flat line is? It's actually a series of still frames, if you think about it. You know? So what I'm saying is that we don't want to be stagnant, guys. First of all, literally, when you stagnate, you begin to die in a literal sense and in a figurative sense. And I don't want any of you to start dying because you're procrastinating. I really don't. I am like the queen bee of procrastination, and I'm a very quickly reforming procrastinator. And I have to tell you guys that sometimes obstacles can be funny. Sometimes they're not near, in fact, most of the time. You know, they say, I forget what the percentage is, but it's something like 70 or 80% of what we worry about actually never comes to pass. And it's true. It's really true. Try it out in your life and see if I'm right or wrong. So what I wanted to say, kind of in closing here today about obstacles and persevering, there's this funny analogy that my mentor and master likes to give. And I hadn't seen him do this until recently. And basically what he did was, in one of his presentations, he put a chair in front of himself. And he was describing how that's an obstacle, right? And how a lot of us, we walk up to the obstacle and we're like, why is this obstacle here? Who put this chair here? How dare they put that chair there? Of course, this is the day that they put the chair in my way. You know, any number of these types of reactions. Whereas, this is the point of this whole video. In fact, maybe I'll title it this, I don't know, but Power of Pause. And I'm going to do a whole thing on that for sure anyway, but we need to pause. The next time that you come up across an obstacle for yourself, I want to encourage you so strongly to pause. So what am I getting at here? So with my story today, my obstacle was something with my funnel. Now, previously, my way of dealing with this is where it gets kind of funny. Whereas like in the analogy we were just talking about with the chair in your way, you know, so master walks into it and he's just showing that like this person isn't getting that they could simply just walk around the obstacle, but instead they're just bashing their head into the wall. Like, who put this here? Why did this happen? And this is the kind of mental cycle that we all go through, I think, or at least until we become aware of this, that we go through this rigmarole of like, you know, and it's goofy because the thing is, so my point in encouraging you to pause is pause. Take a deep breath, no matter what the obstacle is, no matter what you're coming up against. Pause for just a minute and take a deep breath. Pause a little bit more. Take a few seconds of silence, not minutes, but just give yourself a little minute to collect yourself. And then look at the problem again. Or actually, you can even do this on an extended period. You can take an hour, a few hours, some time away and come back to this if it's really something that you're really stuck on. And then look at it with fresh eyes. Because the thing was that today I realized the solution that I had in my mind for my funnel was stressing me out. And I was like worried about how am I going to do this? And the funny part is that it was because of the solution that I invented that it was actually becoming like more of a complex issue in my head and was causing me to procrastinate more because of the solution that I had devised. Now today, I thought to myself, no, wait a second. I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be. And I recently heard one of my other mentors, Chabaria, reinforce as per usual, keep it simple. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh my gosh, keep it freaking simple. So basically the short version is what I was trying to do before was use a template in which there were some back-end weedy things that kind of needed to be changed. And I had no idea how to change them. They were very technical and I'm not until recently a very techie person. I'm slowly learning things. And the comical part is, in the end, I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to go try to dig my way into the inner workings of my funnel. I just needed to model it myself, create it from scratch and just model it again. And I have the knowledge to know how to put all the steps in place so that the funnel works. So I have a functional funnel. To that end, this video is primarily for me to encourage you. Please don't procrastinate. And if you find yourself procrastinating, I want to encourage you to pause and ask yourself why. And furthermore, to the point of the video itself is I want to encourage you to just look at the obstacles from a different angle. So say my approach had been, let me go in and solve it. If your approach you're taking to solve it doesn't work, try something else entirely. you know, it might be a lot more simple of a solution than you think, which is, to me, was quite funny. So in the span of a couple of hours, I rebuilt my whole funnel. It's now functional and I'm able to sell my ebook. And I'm just, guys, that's how simple sometimes these things can be. So with that, the kind of point dovetailing into this is just don't procrastinate. Keep moving forward and pushing forward, because even a little bit of progress, you know, it's progress. And sometimes by doing these things that we think are impossible is when we have the biggest growth. And just keep moving forward. Really, really believe in yourselves and know that there really are no obstacles. It's just a matter of, have you thought about the specific way around it? Or maybe there's another way through it, or over it, or under it, or, you know, sometimes you don't have to go through the obstacle itself. That's the other point, I guess. So with that, guys, I hope that this has hit home. Obstacles are not as scary as they seem at first. They are just new things that we haven't yet done and tried. And sometimes all it takes is a new approach. So I hope all of you do take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you that have been watching my videos. And do let me know which of the types of videos is your favorite. I'm just curious what you guys like to learn from me the most so that I can give you more of what you enjoy. Do also comment down below and tell me, where are you tuning in from? That's always nice to know. And with that, I wish you guys a very, very beautiful week. I'm looking forward to being back because I have a very important subject to discuss on Saturday. Now, it might be a little bit sensitive, but I'm hoping that you're all evolved enough humans, and not hoping, I know, that you guys can hear the information without reacting and instead will be the right type of audience for this. But at any rate, it's such an important subject, and I just really want to open up everyone's minds. So do tune in on Saturday for Sham Saturdays, where we talk about whatever I feel like bringing to your awareness, which is usually anywhere across the board. So with that being said, do take care of yourselves. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you got any value from any part of it. And I very much look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of days. So take care of yourselves. Be well. I think I covered all the bases. Yes. Much love, and I will see you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye.